As the cliche goes, April showers bring May flowers. But usually what comes after is the heat and dryness of summer. Hello again, Essay here. And before the hot weather of the holiday shows up, you should indulge in my new short story, The White Cat, a free exclusive on Substack. The links are down below in description. Join Margot Thompson, a beautiful stage actress and recent widow who finds salvation in the form of a white cat during a night of terror. While checking out my oddball thriller, remember that my Glitch series is still available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The links are down below in the description. While you'll find my peculiar story about a white pussy entertaining, that doesn't mean I'm out of ideas. I still have more stories coming down the pike, so as long as I don't run into any mishaps, you'll see those stories as well. Now let's get back to the video. Hello again, Essay here. Anyone who remembers the Me Too movement remembers that a lot of famous people got caught up in that. I ain't just talking about Weinstein. You know, because, for example, Johnny Depp, he got briefly caught up into that mess. Thank you, Amber Heard. But then also Kevin Spacey got caught up in that too. Now, I'm not saying these people are good people. In fact, I like Johnny Depp. I like Kevin Spacey. Good actors. But just because you're a good actor doesn't necessarily mean that you're a good person. I mean, look at the Roman Polanski. I like his films. I saw most of them. But of course, we also know he has a thing for little girls, which I'm not going to get into. But the thing is, some of these people, in the case of Johnny Depp, were accused of being naughty, except it was BS. And then, of course, a few short years later, it all came out that Me Too wasn't really about sexual harassment. It was all about basically using the fulcrum of sexual harassment to get rid of, let's just say, problem people. And when I mean problem, people of a certain political persuasion. Okay, are we clear? Yeah. In other words, is there someone out there, a public figure, you don't like their politics? Accuse them of sexual harassment and give them the boot. Indeed, that's what happened to that guy, Moody, who used to be one of the big shots over at CBS. Yeah. In fact, you probably know his wife, Chen, the woman who hosts the Big Brother show. Yeah, her husband. Now, she kept her job at CBS. He unfortunately didn't. And Charlie Rhodes, another good example. And I like Charlie Rhodes. I used to watch him on TV way back when he was on PBS. And they accused him of sexual impropriety. Except there was nothing to it. I mean, they claim that he'll walk around in a bathrobe with nothing underneath. And I'm thinking, yeah, him and about maybe a couple 100 million other guys in the morning. Big deal. But these people, basically spun that to make him look like the second coming of the Bluebeard or damn Jack the Ripper. So he wasn't, and he lost his job. Just on the say so of that. But anyway, this video is not really about the Me Too movement per se. but it is about someone who apparently is being Me Too'd in a roundabout way. Now, I have a video from the people over at Redacted, Clayton and Nally, and they're talking about Mr. Beast, or more importantly, someone who works for Mr. Beast. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
Beast is between a rock and a hard spot because the trans member of his team has been accused of sexually messaging a young boy, a minor, 13-year-old. Obviously, this is a problem because most of Mr. Beast's audience are adolescents. So why do we care about Mr. Beast? Obviously, this is not geopolitical news, which is most of what we cover here on YouTube. But Mr. Beast has 305 million YouTube followers, 30 million on X, and he's highly influential with young people. He was put in a difficult position when one of his sidekicks, Chris Tyson, came out as transgender and asked everyone to call him Ava Tyson. Now, obviously, this is a high-profile person normalizing a grown man who left his wife and child to become a woman. His wife then became what they call a trans widow. A trans widow is someone whose husband pretends that the life they had together did not exist because he was never a man. And this child lost a father. He now says, I'm not the child's father, I'm the child's mother, and I'm very involved in the child's life, and I am a great mother, he says. He says that anyone who attacks him for losing his family is a misogynist. You can't be a misogynist to a man. Well, now there are reports that he was sexually messaging a minor since the boy was 13. The boy is now 20, which means that Tyson was doing this at least 7 years ago while living as a man. And trans advocates are furious about this, saying that this sets them back by hundreds of years. Now, I'm going to show you something with some strong language. It does have the F word. If you don't like that, you can look away. I'm not going to read it out loud. This person says that Chris Tyson has been ousted as a pedophile, and the fact that he has deleted everything off of their social networking profiles proves that it's true. Well, there's other proof besides that, saying that this sets back the trans community by 1,000 years. And now Mr. Beast is going to have to deal with this. So they're saying F that person. And this other person also says that this set the trans community back 200 years and they'll never hear the end of it from transphobes. Well, I'm not a transphobe, but I am someone who has studied the phenomenon of gender for years and years. What they mean by setting them back is that they're trying to make the argument publicly that trans is not associated with homosexuality. Only it is. That's the problem. In fact, transgender identity is associated with autogynephilia. What is autogynephilia? It's when a gay man likes to be feminized as their sexual fetish. It is homosexuality. That's not what they want to say. What they want to say is that trans is innate. It's not a sexual identity. It's a gender identity. But time and time again, when we see male trans adults, they do show clear signs of autogynephilia. Trans advocates don't like that word. They don't like the display of this. They don't like the association with homosexuality. Obviously, they don't want the groomer bit of it, but now this is being associated. Now, it's worth noting the boy in question said he was not abused by Tyson. Here is his tweet about it, saying these are lies. They never did anything wrong except a few edgy jokes, saying I was never exploited or taken advantage of. Now, there are Discord screenshots. There are screenshots in Snapchat. I leave it to you how normal it is to have edgy jokes with 13-year-olds in Discord chat. I mean, I'm hoping and praying nobody on the Redacted team does that because, I don't know how appropriate it is to be edgy with a 13-year-old that you met through the course of your work. This person, I believe they met over the course of filming a Mr. Beast video. David, are you trying to say something? There's a lot of
no, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was just unmuted.
Okay. Maybe mute yourself again. Thank you so much. Okay. The boy said again that this was just normal, edgy, inappropriate jokes with a 13-year-old. And again, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's not a thing.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Normal?
None of normal? Yeah, that's not normal.
Right.
No. No. I don't know any guy friends. Yeah. Go ahead, Phil.
If they weren't a child of mine, I have not texted a 13-year-old, I think, ever in my life, and I don't see myself ever doing so. Like that's not even safe jokes, no jokes.
I mean,
no messages.
I mean, Miles is in our diving chat, and we kind of game trash talk a little bit, but that's completely different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my 13-year-old son is in our Helldivers chat.
Yeah.
We play a video game together.
Okay, I did have a 13-year-old that was a friend of my kids who helped me get concert tickets. So, but there was nothing inappropriate about that except maybe the concert that we went
Hot
to.
kettle black.
Right, there was nothing edgy. It was just like, how do you get the code to those tickets? So, otherwise I do not message on my own any other person unless it's about the children. Okay, now Jake Franklin is a former member of Mr. Beast's team. He says that Mr. Beast knew about this all along. Here is his tweet saying Jimmy knew. Jimmy is the real name of Mr. Beast. And again, since this news broke in the last 48 hours, Mr. Beast has said nothing, prompting Franklin to now say this. The silence is deafening. So what will Mr. Beast do? Will he keep Tyson on his channel? Will he ignore this? Obviously, he's in a no-win situation because if he takes Tyson off the channel, trans advocates will call him transphobic. If he keeps Tyson around,
they'll go after him the same way they went after J.K. Rowling.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
If he keeps him around, he's platforming someone who possibly could be a predator to the rest of his audience. Now, I'm not for the cancel culture. I think most of us are not. So what do we think should happen? I mean, if he's guilty of a crime, he should be investigated.
Right. That's why we have laws. That's why we have laws, right?
Right. So since we don't advocate for the cancel culture, what would you do? Right? If you know that there's someone who's been preying upon your audience, do you prioritize your audience? Say, you can't have access to these people anymore. I have to.
Yeah.
But that's cancel culture, is it not?
Well, no, if this has been reported, you would have, first of all, someone handle this and investigate it, right? Like you would have an HR. I wonder if Mr. Beast has like an HR department that would handle this kind of thing. Like, okay, we're going to investigate this internally first. And then if it rises to the level of this is criminal, then you get the police involved. Right. Then you would put it in the hands of authorities.
I think cancel culture is more like it's handled by the court of public opinion, and you're canceled before any information comes out, before there's any legal proceedings or anything. Yeah. Whereas, he would be smart to wait until all of that happens, and if there is criminal proceeding, I mean, I think they should still address it for sure, so that people aren't, drawing their own conclusions, which is what everybody does when nobody says anything.
Okay, but let's carry out this thought experiment. What if it's slightly inappropriate, which is inappropriate, but not illegal? Then Mr. Beast then would say, you can't be around any more of these teenagers that we do videos with because I can't trust you. Is that a cancel culture, or no? Is that just consequences of Mr. Beast prioritizing his audience?
It's not cancel culture.
That's a consequence of his actions.
Yeah. We don't want you around kids. You're a pedophile.
Yeah.
And so,
it'd be like no different than if I got fired from my job because I got caught streaking a football game. They could say, hey, you look bad on our organization. We don't really want you around.
Right.
It's fair. That's fair business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you done that recently?
That's the first thing that came to his mind.
No.
Okay,
got
good.
Caught? No.
Never been caught.
Lost a job?
Good to know. And also, no children were hurt unless they were looking on. Okay, so Mr. Beast again took a lot of heat for keeping Tyson in the spotlight when he transitioned to a woman. So what does he do now? Well, 305 million YouTube subscribers will be watching and 30 million people on X. So let us know what you think.
Okay, you saw that. Now, me personally, I don't watch Mr. Beast's videos. I have heard of him. I've heard that he supposedly makes a lot of money off of YouTube, as well as other things, such as he actually had a hamburger joint for a while there called Mr. Beast Burgers, but I think most people didn't buy this stuff because, well, what can you say? Businesses come and go all the time, and restaurants, man, they come and go quicker than mayflies. But this fella who works for Mr. Beast, this guy Chris Tyson, now this guy is a weird bird, and if the allegations against him are true, well, let's just say the boys in blue will be talking to him pretty soon. Just saying. Because no self-respecting person would be sitting there trying to talk to some little kid and in a sexual way. I mean, it's already creepy enough if you see some old man in a dirty raincoat going up to some little kid in a damn trailer park and say, "You want some candy, little girl?" Yeah, precisely. But this guy Tyson, yeah, he's reaching out to one kid, I think a little boy, and the kid I think is not even in junior high, and he's sitting there trying to get all kinds of trying to, what's that old term from the South, sex him up. And I'm thinking, what the hell are you doing, dude? And of course, this is not, and of course, if you pay attention to Clayton's video, this is not a new incident. This happened like, Jesus, 7 years ago? And it's like just coming out now? And indeed, that's one thing I thought was very telling. Who's coming out with this? Certainly not this Tyson guy. And as for the kid who is an adult now, I guess he's bringing it out, but why now? This is the part I find very, very interesting. Because as you saw in that video, this Tyson guy, when he was doing this sex stuff with this kid, he was a married man with a wife and a family. But as you saw in that video, this Tyson guy, now he thinks he's a chick. And no, I don't think he's gone completely sorry, mouse not working. Caitlyn Jenner yet. This guy apparently has been taking hormones, and I think he's grown breasts, and he grew his hair out and whatnot. But still, one thing I find very telling about this whole deal is that whoever released this stuff, these text messages between this Tyson guy and this kid, is that they came out, because you saw it on the Nally's video, that they claimed that Mr. Beast knew all about it and supposedly kept his mouth shut. Now, like I said, I don't watch Mr. Beast's video. I've heard of him, but I don't know much about the guy. But when I heard that part of the story, I said, oh, Now you say, why am I thinking what's something fishy's going on around here? Like Johnny Depp style? Or because it's one thing to accuse someone of being naughty with kids. Okay. But then to accuse a third party of being knowledgeable about it and basically facilitating it, that's when looks like someone's trying to smear somebody. Because, for example, when Roman Polanski was messing around with that little kid back in the day, he was doing it in Jack Nicholson's house. I remember that story. And then multiple people went to Jack and said, "Yo, Jack, what you doing letting Polanski go in your house with a little kid doing naughty stuff?" And Jack, to his credit, claimed, "Hey, I wasn't at home that day. I was out, making some movie." And I told Roman, "Hey, you want to hang out at my house? You can do." And Jack, because he said that, he was able to dodge a bullet, because I think under California law, if Jack was in the house when Roman Polanski was doing that naughty stuff, he would have been an accessory under California law. No joke. Because if you or me were to be in a house and somebody in another room was molesting some little kid, and you knew what was going on in the next room, and you basically kept your mouth shut and didn't say nothing, guess what? you become an accessory. Okay? Under the California law, you become an accessory to child molestation. No joke. So now, when this thing about Mr. Beast and someone is accusing him of being an accessory to this Tyson guy, sending, like naughty stuff to this little kid on the internet, I'm thinking, really? And the worst thing about it is this guy, Mr. Beast, he so far hasn't said anything publicly at all. Nothing. Zip, mum, nothing. Does that mean he's guilty? I don't know. But I know one thing. It looks like someone's trying to Me Too Mr. Beast. Now, of course, some of you say, who cares about Mr. Beast? Hey, I'm getting to that. Mr. Beast, like I said, he's got his fans. But he also has his detractors. Indeed, no joke. When the last time I heard about Mr. Beast, he supposedly went to sub-Saharan Africa. I don't know where, Tanzania, somewhere down there. And he supposedly paid money to drill some water wells for some villagers. Why? They were out in the middle of the boonies and they had no access to fresh water. And you say, oh, that sounds cool. But when he posted the videos, both on Twitter as well as X, as well as YouTube, multiple people, mostly leftists, criticized him. Basically claiming that he was it the term they used, white savior mode, which is basically a slur saying that, you're the brave white man who's going to come and help the brown people, get a leg up, whatever. And of course, leftists, they claim they hate that. But of course, leftists, they hate everything, so. But yeah, and this is not the first time they ragged on Mr. Beast, these radicals, these leftists. So then when you look at that history and then see what's going on now with this Tyson guy, I'm thinking, yeah. It reminds me a lot of what almost happened to Johnny Depp. In other words, whatever's going on with this Tyson guy and this kid, well, let the cops and the court sort that out. But when it comes to Mr. Beast, the fact that they're dragging his name into this, whoever released these text messages, it looks like they're trying to cancel Mr. Beast. In other words, what they call it, collateral damage. Yeah. And of course, if we can find out who is behind releasing this stuff, because as far as we know, the kid that this Tyson guy was reaching out to, we as far as we know, this kid who's now an adult, he didn't release the stuff himself. I mean, why should he? I mean, you would figure it'd be embarrassing if some clown was reaching out to you being a pervert. And therefore, I think we're going to need an investigation to find out who's behind these text messages, or I should say, who was releasing them. Because I think if we find out who's releasing these text messages, and we find out they got, like a damn trans flag in the background, or an anarchist flag, or are they a part of Antifa or some radical outfit like that, then at that point you realize, oh, that's what this is really about. In other words, just like with Johnny Depp, someone is trying to cancel Mr. Beast through basically, guilt by association. Now, will they succeed? But I know one thing. If Mr. Beast was, involved in this naughty business with this Tyson guy, well, he should take his lumps. However, if someone is basically using this Tyson, building scandal to cancel Mr. Beast by guilt by association, then just like with Johnny Depp, this thing should be sorted out in the court of law. Because as you remember what happened with old Johnny and Amber, when they finally went to the court, as Hercule Poirot famously said, all was revealed. And we found out that all those accusations about old Johnny turned out to be rubbish. In other words, just like that turd that was in Johnny Depp's bed, it was all bullshit. So, like I said, I guess Mr. Beast, I guess the fact that he's keeping his mouth shut, I think might be a good thing, because when it comes to criminal law, the first thing that your lawyer always tells you is to keep your mouth shut and don't talk to the cops and have a lawyer present. And believe me, that's very, very good advice. Well, that's all I have to say about this rigmarole going on with Mr. Beast and all the underlings underneath him. And that's my opinion.